going to pass it on over to you, Catherine, and she's going to introduce herself and her guest, and so be ready to be entertained.
Well, for those of you who don't know me, I'm Cathrine Hatcher, and I own a company called Personas Image Dynamics. And today's guest has, well, I was going to say nothing to do with image, except that we're working together, and I don't have to coach WT on his image at all. But we are working on an avenue in his career that might be very beneficial for those who hear him. So let me give you a little bit of information. I have to put my glasses on to read now. Let me tell you a little bit about WT. He is featured as a guest entertainer for the 2-week Harpo Company cruise, and this is where Oprah comes in. WT had the rare opportunity to perform privately for Oprah and her guests, and after WT's performance, she said, and I have to agree with her on this, she said, "If I could imagine the ocean with a voice, it would be the voice of W.T. Greer." Is that how she said it?
That's exactly how
Okay, all right.
Very, very sweet.
Okay. And he has also performed for 5 of our nation's presidents and first ladies. For the past 15 years, he's been hired not only to perform, but also to use his gift for writing music to help corporations externally promote their companies, while at the same time boosting internal company spirit. WT writes music for large company conferences, and his writing has also inspired the growth of network marketing companies such as Creative Memories, Amway, Home Interiors, Beauty Control, and many others. He has written the theme songs for companies like, or foundations like the Susan G. Komen Foundation and Free the Slaves International. I'd like to welcome to the show
Celebrity
the very talented W.T. Greer. Yay!
I can just
Thank
hear
you,
the
Kathy.
jingle.
Thank you so much, and thank you, Kathy.
Well, I have a question that is not on your list of questions to ask, okay? I have to warn you. I know I'm not the only one who wonders what WT stands for.
Oh, it stands for won't tell.
Won't tell?
Won't tell. And if you don't ask me, then I don't have to lie to you. Actually, no, it is just WT. I'm from Texas and from the South, and my great-grandparents were arguing over what to name their last child, their 8th son, and she wanted to name him something that began with a W, and she's Blackfoot and Madagascan, and he wanted to name him something that began with a T, and he's Comanche and Nigerian, and so they could not agree, and they hated each name. So rather than give either name, they just gave the initials from both names. So it really is just
You are the ultimate
WT.
compromise. Yes.
I am the ultimate. My name stands for forgiveness and compromise.
But you're also the third.
I'm the third.
So
and
you were.
So well, yeah. So it happened it actually happened four times because my son is the 4th. So
Oh wow.
it is just WT Greer.
Well, I've been wondering this the entire time I've known you, which is many years.
Yeah,
So I wanted.
But you've never asked.
I know.
One of the few people that just have never.
Well, I wanted to wait till we were in a public forum to ask you.
Oh, it's perfect. Just perfect.
Well, we learned something that people normally don't know. So.
Right. So,
Are you trying to scare me or what?
well, I love putting people on the spot, and I have
you're trying to
I have
trick me.
I have a
Oh,
feeling
okay.
you're going to be one of the hard ones to put on the spot because you have an answer for everything. But let me ask you about Oprah.
Okay.
You know, we all watch her on TV, and we imagine that she's the most wonderful, genuine person in the whole wide world. And I want to know the scoop. What was it like performing?
She's taller than you think, and she's taller than you
She
think.
looks tall.
And she's as nice as you would imagine. Very, very careful about everything she says because she knows that people are listening to what she says, and she's very definitely opinionated about the world around her, the one that she's in control of. These 2,500 people that came to be with her on this particular cruise to the Mediterranean from Barcelona to Istanbul were treated from curb to curb. She paid for everything.
Was that under your seat tickets?
No, it was no. These are people that actually work for her, so it's an even better deal than that. I mean, she does really wonderful things for the people who come to her shows, but for those people who labor for her day in and day out,
so this was
her family. And I mean, she was very, very meticulous about everything. When she came on board the boat, the first thing she did was went up to the cafeteria, I suppose, the buffet, and ate there to make sure that the food that they were going to be eating was as good as the food that she was going to be eating. I mean, and she had, the only thing that I saw her do that I thought was a little bit out there was she had every flower on the boat removed that was plastic and replaced with real flowers and real plants. I mean,
it had to have smelled wonderful.
it was truly, it did add a touch that I can only imagine that she knew before she asked for it, that it would do that. And it makes people, I guess it does make you feel like she's gone the extra mile for you.
It's those touches, yeah. And she didn't, and that was a lot. That is wonderful touch.
Especially to do that over in Europe. I don't know what flowers cost in here, but much less Barcelona, trying to pull all those flowers from everywhere in Barcelona. So anyway.
And the trip was 2 weeks, right?
It was 2 solid. I was there for 3 weeks, but they came on the second week that I was there.
Did they take the whole boat? Or
the entire, the whole boat. Mm-hmm.
Wow.
And that was my first time entertaining again after my wife was ill. I mean, that job came on the heels of 1 solid year of not working because my family was needing me here. So, and I thought, well, maybe God just doesn't want me to sing anymore. And my daughter and my wife both said, you know, Oprah just needs to see you. And the phone rang the very next day from an agency who said they saw video of you, and Oprah's people saw video of you, and she and Gail and the people in her company would like to invite you to come and perform in the Mediterranean. And I said, oh, I'll think about it.
How long did you think? Come on.
A command performance.
I was in shock. I mean, it's hard to shock me. It's hard to surprise me because, I mean, the phone rings and it's usually someone wonderful. I mean, I've been involved in Dallas for 20+ years and have had some wonderful opportunities to entertain for some pretty incredible people, and also privately, not just for, political events or charity events, but, I've been part of their families here and had wonderful, wonderful times. And but that was a surprise. I mean, that was one of those, my wife prayed, my daughter prayed, and there it was.
Wow, manifested.
I mean, right there. And I thought, I wonder if I could do that with money.
Of course. Of course.
It needs to
Our
happen
NLP lady, our NLP specialist would say, yes, you can,
Yes, right.
Yes, of course.
So now on your resume, it talks about 5 of our presidents and first ladies. Do you have a favorite story?
I was, yes, and don't be mad at me.
Okay, it must involve a Republican if he's saying that to Kathy.
We're not making any political statements whatsoever.
Well, I love everybody.
Yes, of course, and I was, and this is true. You do. We want to support every president that we have,
they are the leader of our country.
Absolutely, we want to be as supportive as possible, especially if you've traveled around the world and seen what the rest of the world has. Mm-hmm. You want to be grateful. Anyway, so I was invited to sing for Betty Ford. First Lady Betty Ford. She was here. She came here for a big function and there was an honor for her clinic.
Yes, and, she did
so many wonderful things. And her favorite songs was Amazing Grace. And so I was asked to come and sing that to her. And I thought, how do I do this? And I thought, just sing it a cappella. And so you had the 5,000 people in the audience, and she's sitting behind me over here. And the president, her husband, was sitting out in the audience. But I was told before I walked in, don't talk to her. Don't touch her. Don't just do the song and do your thing and go. And I've never been told that before, but apparently she was very sensitive about those kinds of things. And I guess so many people want to meet you, and when you don't.
And Secret Service and all that.
But people want to touch celebrities.
Yeah.
I've seen people inappropriately touching all kinds of celebrities.
And maybe she just doesn't want. She didn't want that,
right.
But the Secret Service knew me, because I.
Well, I was just kidding when
no,
I said
okay.
that.
Yeah.
They know. You get anywhere near, they know who you are.
No, but yeah.
They knew what color socks I was wearing that day.
Looks like, and she looks like to be a petite woman, so
she's very small.
And if she got rushed, that can be kind of scary. If people. Yeah.
I imagine it would be. I was so I walked out on the stage to sing for her, and I thought, this is so inappropriate. My back is to the first lady, and I'm supposed to be singing her favorite song. So I turned my back to the audience and sang directly to her. And when it was over, she got up and she walked over to me and she threw her arms around me, around my neck, and she hugged me. And when it was all over, I was walking through the audience, and the president he found me. He found me in the crowd and shook my hand and embraced my arm and said, "You will never know how much that means to me to see what you did for my wife." and for our family, because apparently she doesn't really want people touching her. So for me to have touched her that way, it moved him. He was teary. So it was a wonderful.
Well, did you get your
wonderful-
singing talent starting in the church? I mean, I looked at some of your videos. I mean, gosh, when you sing, it's like an angel.
You're sweet. It must have, because nobody in my family sings. My father doesn't sing.
So
My
you
mother
weren't
doesn't
like-
sing. No, nobody. And I'm actually the first person that's in the family that really sings. at
So
all.
when you bolted out as a child and started singing, I take it.
They were terrified.
Yeah, they were like,
They were terrified. So, yeah, my mother and father for at least 20 years would look at me and think, what? What are you going to be when you grow up? You know?
Yeah, surely you're not going to be a singer, right?
Well, you need to get a real job.
Right.
You need
Well,
a real
yeah.
job.
Right.
So, and I understand how they think, especially now with
But you're
with
so
the economy.
talented, and I can't imagine that even in high school and stuff when people.
I didn't. You know what? I
They
wasn't.
didn't?
No, I wasn't.
Were
at all.
you competing in speech and things like that
Speech,
in high
yes.
school?
Speaking
yeah.
is what I did in
yeah.
high school.
And
I
he
mean,
has
I
a
was-
beautiful voice,
Well,
speaking voice.
But I wasn't even. When you put it into perspective, the class that I came out of, I mean, I had a teacher named Debbie Carroll. She walked that whole school. She was a dancer, little petite blonde, and she was a dancer, Broadway dancer, and she walked the school recruiting. Anybody that she looked at, she thought, you have a talent, or you look like you have a talent. She would say, you need to come to my class and audition. And so a bunch of us she cornered a bunch of us, and we all went. And in that group that she cornered was Ricky Herbst, who's got 5 or 6 Emmy nominations and 3 or 4 Emmys for Guiding Light and As the Stomach Turns and all the different, he in General Hospital, he plays the bad guy in General
I
Hospital.
used to watch those all the time.
John Benjamin Hickey, who's been a movie star for many years, and he was in the last Transformers movie as the jerk who told them to send the Transformers back or put them on.
Oh, okay.
He's all these people from Plano, but we were in that one little small group that she pulled.
Okay.
And I'm the only one that hasn't gotten up to go to Hollywood or gone to New York to say, here I am, because I'm a daddy first. I'm a daddy first, and I just want to be around my kids more than.
I'll
go.
But
when I'm older.
Just the fact that you've done the president. Did you do anything for Obama?
When I sang for Obama, he was not president, and he was just a senator.
He was here. Well,
He was
when
a
he was
senator.
in Dallas, maybe. Okay.
Yeah, I've done several political conventions.
Okay.
But he was there for them. But he's the only one that I've not met. I've met everyone from 4. I did not meet. I've met both Bushes.
Okay.
I've met Carter's.
Okay.
President Carter. I've met.
But your thing in music. So what happened? If you didn't do it in high school,
I started singing on
and
a
you
dare.
could play beautifully. That's all.
I started when I got my first job. I knew how to play 3 songs, 4 songs.
Okay.
And that was it. So I got the job on a dare.
Now, you mentioned quickly, and we're going to go to a break in a few
Okay.
minutes, and then I want to talk about where you're going with your career
Okay.
after the break. But
Okay.
I want to hear about your children. You have 2 kids.
My daughter's
That you
my
are-
daughter's 18. She's a sophomore at Harvard. And,
And you
Wow.
homeschooled her,
and we
did you?
homeschooled her. Yes,
Wow.
So, and my son is 14. He's 6'3", and he wants to be an Olympic swimmer. So, and he's on the
Is
varsity.
he as good looking as you?
Oh,
They
my gosh.
both look better than I
They
do.
are.
Oh
what-
my
tell me, he is handsome, drop dead handsome,
Yeah.
and
My
then
children are
she
beautiful
is.
ladies,
What did she win, Miss?
Miss Texas.
Miss
Junior
Texas.
Miss.
Yeah.
Wow.
Madison is
So
Okay.
you know they got
the
and
babies are beautiful. They look like their mother.
Okay.
I was
Hallelujah.
going to say no. They look like the both of you. Yes. Do not be
No, they
that
look like their mother.
modest.
Trust me. Ooh, really.
Well, what if we go to a break now and save the rest of the questions? And I think on break we're going to show a video or 2 of you,
Okay.
and then we'll be back to talk about where you're going from
Marvelous.
this point forward.
Okay.
Thank
All
you,
right.
Catherine. Thank you, Kathy.
Yeah.